Here we go. Here we go.
I didn't mean you to shout at everyone.
Sorry.
How are you doing, guys? I'm Jack. I think I've met most of you guys before, and I now train like half the room as well, so that's positive. Today's talk, the optimal diet for human health, which is massively subjective, so for all of you guys it'll be different. So I'll try and help. Obviously it's a generic talk, but I'll try to be as subjective as I can for you all. A bit about me. So I've been a PT for 5 years. Finished uni, got a qualified PE teaching degree, and realised that I didn't really want to work with kids because I was coaching through uni football. And realised I didn't like kids very much, so I thought I'd get into PT. Done it for 5 years. Massively in self-development. Read probably about 200 books in the last 2 or 3 years. A bit of a geek in that sense. Never was at uni. I didn't read a single book at uni, but I've found that if I want to do well in business and in life, I needed to learn a little bit.
What's your best book?
Slight Edge, probably.
Which one?
The Slight Edge.
The Slight Edge. What's that one about?
The Compound Effect.
Okay.
But yeah, I've got plenty more books if you want to ask that at the end. Huge sporting background growing up, so I played football massively growing up, and then I realised that PT was the next thing for me. But yeah, I've got a YouTube channel, podcast, massive into like social media, because I think obviously in today's age, it's massive for business. And qualified dietitian, and I'm into my travelling, but I'm not a gypsy. So is there an optimal diet for health? As you can see, lots of sassy characters there, but everyone's different, and everyone's opinion of health or like is subjective, right? So what you class as healthy might be different to what the next person classes as healthy. So for example, my dad came into me on Sunday and was like, "You know what, Jack? Just been to the pub, and I didn't have a beer. I was there for 2 hours." And for him, that's healthy. Whereas for me, my idea of health is different to that. So everyone's got a different idea of health, but hopefully today I can teach you something that you can implement into your lifestyle. So yeah, and we're talking about Nigel a lot today as well, so you're going to get to know Nigel, which is a potential client of mine. Factors influencing perception of health is age, culture, environment, current health, illness, family, etc., etc. And there is my idea of a healthy diet. So that was last week, it was my birthday, and my client spoiled the idea to buy me that, and I smashed in the majority of it. And yeah, but that is really what I would class as a much more healthy, balanced diet. But you'll also begin to understand today that I don't really have a perception of what's good and what's bad. It's more a case of that balance and what's important, and yeah, we'll get to everything else in a second with regards to calories and protein as well. So health is a mindset, it's subjective and individual to each and every one of us, like I've said before already. But these are like the core 5, it's got a buzzer, there we go. The core 5 that you want to try and base your diet around, but no one really kind of nails all 5, but they'll nail 1 or 2 at a time, is enjoyment, social, health, performance, and improving body image. And obviously that's all going to lead to an improvement in performance as well, which is what you're here for today, I believe. How can we successfully manage the core 5 of the diet? So it's a choice we all make at the end of the day. So the foods we eat is a choice that we make every single day. And if we feel like shit, it's probably because of the decisions we're making every day with what we're eating, our stress management, and our sleep. So eat better, feel better, perform better, and that equals a better life. And but yeah, we can change this to everything we're doing with regards to our diet to make ourselves feel better. The daddy of all diets, because it's not actually a diet, it's what I'm going to talk to you about today, it's flexible dieting. So I've got a lot of you guys on it now at the moment, and I think you're all enjoying it quite a lot. So, and it gives you the results without actually feel like you're dieting. So I'm going to go through Nigel, hashtag Team Nigel. He basically rolls around 4 diets on this example, and we're going to show you the best one to try and follow for you guys moving forward. He's very sedentary, so he's got a job where he's sat in office all day. Gyms in and out of the year based on motivation or how he feels, but he's never consistent because his results are always pretty shit. Wants to get rid of his dad bod and be a good example to his kids and to feel better in himself, but he's lacking that self-belief. And his TDEE, who knows what TDEE is? Actually, if you're a client, you can't say. So TDEE stands for, is Pat in here? I thought he just turned up, he's not in here. So you know what it is, don't you? I'll give you a free PT session if you tell me what TDEE stands for.
Shit, bro.
2,500 calories per day.
Total daily
Good start.
equivalent
Nearly.
enjoyment. Enjoyment. Has it got enjoyment in it?
There's expenditure one. Expenditure.
Yeah, but you're also a client, so you can't talk. Yeah, total daily.
Total daily
Expenditure. Eating.
Energy expenditure.
Yeah, you got it.
Damn it!
So his TDE basically means how many calories he burns day to day, and we'll get to that in a second why that's important. But for example, there'll be days where he burns more or less based on his activity levels, but generally throughout the week, his average will be about 2,500 calories, so that'll be, what's that add up to? 14,000 plus, like 17,500 calories a week, which we'll work out in a minute why that's important. So first of all, the awful diet, that's the burgers I was talking to you about earlier, really. Unbelievable. In the awful diet, Nigel's out of control, eats sporadically, lots of fast food, gaining weight rapidly, averaging north of 6,000 calories per day, and the stairs are trouble, let alone training in the gym. This is a diet that's pretty common nowadays in society. The healthy diet, which is probably what you're thinking this talk will be about today, and obviously it is, I want to encourage you all to try and eat better and eat healthier foods, but it isn't the best diet with regards to when it isn't done the right way. So another book that I've read is on the 10,000 hour rule, and how that helps you to get to the top of your industry, or whatever you're doing, and it only tends to work when you combine it with deliberate practice. So you'll see people at your workplace who've been working there 15, 20 years, but they're still at the same point they were when they started. It's because they're not being deliberate in what they're doing every day, and that's relevant to diet as well. So the healthy diet without awareness of calories is the perfect example of this. So if you're eating healthy all the time, but you're not losing weight, you're not feeling better, you're not performing well at work, or whatever it is, that's because you're eating too many calories. It isn't the healthy food, it's the fact you're eating too many calories, which is unfortunately the boring part, but science wins every time. And that's something I realised when I was becoming a dietitian. So yeah, ever heard anyone say, I eat really well but I can't lose weight? This is their problem. They're eating too many calories. So super healthy foods all the time, weekly calories exceeding energy expenditure, so 17,500 calories a week, they're eating more than that on a weekly basis through healthy foods. Doesn't matter how healthy it is, they're still going to gain weight. Okay, so if they're eating like about 3,500 surplus of 17.5 would be about £1 a week of fat gain. So if he's eating 20,000 calories a week, Nigel, on healthy foods, he's going to still gain about £1 of fat a week, even though it's healthy. So this is the conception that people get wrong. They think, oh, if I eat healthy, I'll lose weight. This is the problem. So he's averaging about 3,200 calories a day on that diet, therefore he's not going to be losing any weight. And it leads to binges as well, because he sees the unhealthy foods and think, I'm going to want that. Whereas if he has a more of a balanced approach, he doesn't need it as much. He's always eating healthy, thinking, oh, I'm on the chicken and broccoli diet or the fish and the rice cake diet, and that's all he sticks to. Then when he sees cake, he eats it and he binges. And that's what we don't want to happen. Cool. So the next diet is the slight calorie deficit, which is the one that I want to encourage you all to try and follow. So basically it's flexible dieting. He gives it a crack, tracks his diet on MyFitnessPal. So if you've all got your iPhones with you or phones, download an app on your phone called MyFitnessPal. It'll be the best thing you'll take from today's talk, and just use it. Because you're on your phones all day, every day anyway. Swap 10 minutes on Facebook or Instagram for tracking your calories on MyFitnessPal. It will change your life if you do it for 3 months. After that, eat intuitively if you can. That's the goal. But understanding nutrition will completely change the way you feel about how you feel every day, how you look. I can guarantee it.
I've got that, and I find I'm a bit unsure whenever you're picking like items or if you're scanning it, like weight sizes or portion sizes, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just guesstimate.
Guesstimate's fine. Like you can get to that point after doing it for a while. So I can look at a meal now and I could tell you how much protein's in it, how many carbs are in it, how many fats are in it, just from looking at it, just from experience of tracking food and tracking calories and weighing stuff over time. So initially it is anal, but it's going to give you the results you want. So initially it's worth doing. So it's worth weighing it, tracking it, getting it all tracked right. Then you can see, hang on a minute, right? That's how many calories that is. That's why I'm not getting results. Well, that's why I'm getting results. And then you can kind of align the two.
Do you weigh everything raw or cooked?
I'll weigh it all uncooked. Right. Yeah. But it'll get to the point where I don't have to weigh everything. Do you know what I mean? So it sounds annoying at first because it isn't healthy to weigh all your food and be like anal with MyFitnessPal. But to perform at the level that I know you all want to perform, you have to get good at it. And you can't just do things in a half-hearted way. I think everyone knows that. But yeah, he eats 2,250 calories a day, which is a 10% deficit on his TDEE, which is enough for him to lose at least £1 of fat per week, which doesn't sound like a lot initially, but over a year, that's 52 pounds of body fat that he'll lose if he's consistent. Depends where he's at in the beginning as well, of course. So think more long-term rather than thinking, I want to shift a stone in 2 weeks. Think about how you can do it over 2 months and keep it off as well.
What happens if you have 3,000 calories one day,
Yeah.
and then 2,000 the next day? If over the week,
The average
comes
is
down to 17.5.
Perfect.
That still works.
Yeah. So I'll work out all my clients over on averages throughout the week, rather than saying, like if they have a bad day, next Monday they'll start again, won't they? Whereas if I say, no, it doesn't matter, just average out throughout the week and you're fine.
Right.
Or, yeah, tomorrow's a new day, doesn't matter. If you have a bad day, people do, and say, the average for the week is the most important thing, and you're guaranteed that result. So everyone has bad days, like Monday probably everyone was binging on Easter food and whatever, and everyone was thinking, next Monday I'll start my diet. But the gym was dead yesterday. No one was in there because they're thinking, I'll start next week. But really, just get back on it the next day.
So...
But yeah, the average is what?
If you cut food, you know those people who sort of just cut back on food totally?
Yeah.
And then that's how they lose a load of weight?
Yeah.
But then I heard something about the body then suddenly when it does get food, holds onto it because it doesn't know when it's going to...
That can happen a little bit, but not as...
Like, how long does that be? Like, if you kind of cut your calories,
how long
like a couple of
does
days...
it take to downregulate your
that's
metabolism? A long time.
Right.
It takes a long time to downregulate your metabolism. But people who say, I've got the same metabolism, they're just overeaters.
Right.
And they're just liars.
Yeah.
So I'll have meetings with people and they're like, I eat really healthy, and I'm just looking at them like, I know you don't. But it's just from years of experience. But first I was like, it's really annoying, you eat healthy, why aren't you losing weight? But over time I was understanding that they eat too many calories. They could eat really healthy, but I just want to help them understand that if you cut back on calories and change this for this, then you will see the results you want. But it's got to be in a sustainable way, otherwise you're going to get the results, and then like you said, it won't downregulate your metabolism, but you're just going to want to binge forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I dieted previously on like the most boring diet, the same diet for 12 weeks, like the same food every day. I'll get to that in a minute. At the same time, every day for 12 weeks. I binged for like 3 months afterwards. I didn't, not because my metabolism slowed down, I was just eating like a prick. Do you know what I mean? So that because the diet was unsustainable.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about encouraging positive behaviours rather than encouraging like, you must eat this healthy food only. It's balance to it.
Right.
Does that kind of answer that question?
Yep.
So,
That's Nigel's calories per day. What should it be for women?
I was going to say, if you need to tell you the calories, just email me. And I'll give you all the calorie goal and what macros to get and stuff. But the macros only, protein only matters. So protein and calories, regulate them too for a whole year, and you'll be a different person. If you eat enough protein and eat enough calories, and they're consistent, it will change the way you look and feel.
If you're hitting the gym as well.
Not necessarily.
Right.
This is more like health and performance, like at work. The gym helps massively. I encourage everyone to train. But from a mindset point of view, just the diet is the calories. That's all it takes. I'd recommend the gym as well, obviously. But yeah, he eats what he wants, when he wants, with who he wants, so he's getting that social aspect, enjoyment. Doesn't even feel like he's actually dieting because he gets to eat what he wants. He hasn't got to eat broccoli and rice cakes all day. He feels better, starts performing better at work, plays with his kids more, gets in better shape, which his missus enjoys as well. And yeah, eat better, feel better, perform better, equals better life. And his coach moves him from the unhealthy room into the healthy room. So if we've got 2 rooms, imagine that room over there being the most unhealthy room, like burgers, KFC, and that one being the salads. He's like in the middle. Where do you think we want to try and get him? We don't really want to get him over there because he's just going to go back to there again, isn't he? So what you want to try and do is move him slowly across into that room with sustainable changes. So on a Friday, for example, I'll say, right, go for a burger and chips with your missus or whatever. And then he'll be like, do you know what, after a month, I don't actually want that burger anymore. I'd rather go for a Nando's. Perfect, less calories. But he's still getting that enjoyment, that social part of it, rather than saying, you can't go for a meal, which a lot of people do, and say you can't eat out, you've got to be super strict. It doesn't work. So just making it sustainable changes and making it, doing it in a way that works for him and everyone around him as well. Whereas when you can diet at home and bring everyone else down with you, with your family, if you're eating plain, boring stuff, you're like, oh, I can't eat that with you. It can be a problem. And I've had that with several clients before where breakups have occurred and all sorts because they've been too strict with their diet and people don't like it. So yeah, the best way to do it is make sure no one knows you're even dieting. Don't draw attention to yourself at all. If I can click on that, I can show you some of my results that I've got with people just from a 10% deficit of calories. Who tracks their food here currently? Boom. You all should. Even if it's just for a few months, just track it like every single day. And then you'll be like, okay, I know what I'm eating now. I understand nutrition a lot better. It's like an educational thing more than anything. And then you can eat intuitively from there. But yeah, they're all just literally really small calorie deficits. And the results that these people got from them, they've still got them now. That's the important thing to realise. You'll see loads of transformation photos online of someone getting in good shape in 8 weeks, then see them 2 weeks later and they're not in good shape anymore, just because it's not sustainable. So, we'll come back to that at the end. That was my result in 8 weeks doing a 10% calorie deficit, and I was eating what I wanted. I had 3 stag do's in that time period, but I was just regulating my calories and my protein intake. Diet 4, okay, big calorie deficit. This is what most people follow when they're on a diet. So they'll slash calories completely, like you said earlier, Paul. So he thinks that he must slash calories and get only food from like fruit and vegetables and healthy stuff only, and things that have got protein written on the front of the package. And he averages about 1,500 calories a day. So that leads to binges because he's always hungry, and it develops a bad relationship with food, which I've done several times with dieting because I'm thinking, oh, if I bring calories even lower, I'll get lean even faster. And you do to a point, but then if you haven't got a strategy to keep it, then you're going to binge and you're going to not keep results, which is not what no one wants. But it's the problem that most people have. But everyone can lose weight, it's keeping it off. That's the hard thing. And that's why the strategy has to change how you get off in the first place. It's got to be more of a lifestyle rather than a diet. Cool. So what diet is best and which one do you currently all follow? Who does the 10% deficit?
I tried to because one of your clients, Shipman, tried to show me on FitnessPal.
Yeah.
But I'm not a massive meat eater, so trying to do it with veg, I find
Nice.
quite difficult. So that's something
Are you training in the gym?
I go twice a day, but it's not
Twice a
rigorous
day?
training. It's just me going on the treadmill for half hour or.
So if you're not doing a lot of lifting, you don't need a massive amount of protein. Just regulate your calories as your first point, and then build up to try and get to like 1 gram per pound of body weight over time. So if you're starting up, let's say, 1 gram per pound of lean body weight. So you could work out from your body weight now minus your body fat percentage, that could give you, let's say, 100 gram total of protein per day. If you're currently having 40, just do 50 next week, and 60 the week after, and slowly build yourself up. But it's super easy when you realise what to get in. But yeah, anyone else currently following the diet, or anyone on a really strict diet at the minute?
Probably on 4.
Number 4?
Probably, I've stopped tracking my calories now because I've done quite alright on it. But I reckon I'll do bad on calories because like I won't put enough in and I'll still overtrain. So I think I need to start regulating it a little.
And how's that affecting your results?
Yeah, I'm getting good results, losing weight, which is the main goal. But I've lost strength, which is shit. Which obviously I reckon if I was keeping the 10% up, then I wouldn't lose the strength. So.
You wouldn't lose any. If protein was adequate, you wouldn't lose any. Whereas if you go for a big deficit, you will.
Can't drink now either, can you?
No.
Alcohol basically kills me now as well, really bad.
What, you get pissed really quickly?
Yeah, like bad.
When you could drink previously?
I could drink loads before, but now I just drink like a.
He could drink at least 3 pints before.
And now you're down to 2.
Now he's a half-pint screamer.
How much weight have you lost?
20 kilograms since
Wow, awesome. Since January?
January.
That's insane.
Doing it's massive deficit though. That's where I've killed myself.
See, that's fine, but you need to have a strategy to get out of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise-
I resent like food a little bit as well. So like I'll
This is the
see
problem,
I don't
right?
eat with family and
This is everything I was saying before. Like, of that core 5, how many do you reckon you tick off? Where is it? I have to get all the way back now. So out of them 5, how many do you reckon you tick off for your diet?
you did a video actually I watched where you did the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday. So I reckon I'll put most of my calories in due to probably the top 2 on Friday, Saturday night, and it depends on work as well. So I eat through, like, it's quite a stressful job sometimes, so if I'm having a really bad day,
Yeah.
I'll get home and I'll just, like, eat everything. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, what have I done?
It's so common though, and the fact you've lost 20 kilos means you're not doing it very often.
No.
Because if you were, you wouldn't have lost that much weight.
I do a lot of training though, like I train, like, cardio every day. So,
Interesting.
I've just got to keep, I think I need to up my calories though, being honest, because I don't want to lose the strength.
Does it feel sustainable for you?
Pardon?
Does it feel sustainable?
I
Like
did
all the
it for a while
training?
now, I feel like I just forced myself to do it. Last year I failed as well. So last year I did it for the first 3 months, lost loads of weight, and then I just thought, fuck this, and then just went back to being what I want. And then I just went bang straight, bigger than I was before.
This is
And
the
then at the
problem.
start of January I weighed 128 kilograms, and now I'm like 100. Well, I weighed myself small. I was 108.9 or something. Or
And you
128.
diet in the same way you said last time?
No, I'm a bit more like strict with it now. Like I'll always pick something protein based. I'll eat carbs. I stopped doing carbs before and I hated
Nice.
that, but now I put carbs in. and I manage it a bit more now. So I might always pick, like if I'm out eating with like the missus or with family, I'll always go for the healthier option, and I'll just force myself to enjoy it. I'm just like, yeah, enjoy this.
Who thinks carbs are bad? Yeah. Who's been taught that carbs are bad?
I used to be never bad.
Just one person?
No, I've heard that.
I can imagine more people will think carbs are bad.
I don't. Oh, well, empty carbs, like
Chocolate.
yeah, if you're having like, well, my thought process like bread and starchy carbs, bread, potatoes and pasta and stuff like that. Depending when you eat it,
Yeah.
and if you're not doing anything that's actually going to burn.
Who thinks carbs after 6 p.m. are bad?
I used to until you told me not to worry. And that's fine.
I ate bread every day when I did that. At 8 p.m. just to be annoying, just to prove everyone that you can do it. It's not about, it doesn't matter, like, there's no good or bad food. You can get in shape eating anything. It's calories. But for health, I would recommend eating the healthy stuff, right? Where are we? Okay. So diet strategy is subjective. So I don't promote cult, so anything like fasting or whatever, like I'm an intermittent faster, but I don't promote it as something you should do. Or nor would I say I'm actually one of them, but I do it. I do practice it in my day-to-day life. And nor do I recommend like a strict approach to dieting either. So I don't like the term diet, and it's about creating a lifestyle for you really. Otherwise, the diet will, like you say, run out. It's got like an end date on it, and then you're going to gain the weight again. And nor do all my clients do what I do either. So I do things in a very different way to all my clients completely, just because my life is very different to theirs. And that's what you got to realise. I used to give people what I did, and then I realised that they couldn't be me, and I didn't want them to be me either. So it's about working what's best for them. So yeah, personalisation is key. So I'll eat differently to how all of you lot will eat as well, because I haven't got an office job as well. Although my job is getting more like that at the moment with it being online, but yeah, I'd recommend different ways of doing things, especially where you start work at, what, 8, 9 o'clock? Whereas I'll start work at 4.
I was going to ask you a question. What's your view on sort of sugar sightings? Because for me, it'd be an office job.
Yeah,
I used to have a can of Red Bull pretty much every day. Cut it out since January.
yeah.
Lost a lot of weight from just not eating sugar.
Was it like a diet Red Bull or like a normal Red Bull?
Normal Red Bull, and like for me, I was 14.5 stone. Now I'm down to 13 stone 10.
Nice.
That's just literally
Just from Red
cutting
Bull?
out, having no Red Bull, just water.
And how many were you having?
Pardon?
How many were you having?
I was
One a
having
day?
like 1 or 2 a day. It was really bad. And then now I feel so much better.
100%.
So what's your view on that? Like sugar has cut it all out, or
No, my view would be 2 Red Bulls is 3,500 calories a week.
yeah?
That's a pound. It's the calories. It doesn't matter. Like I wouldn't have that anyway because it isn't the most healthiest choice. But if you need a caffeine kick, I'd go with a black coffee probably. Most people drink their calories or drink too many calories. So a drink in Starbucks can set you back 500 calories. If you're only eating 2,000 a day, it's half, like almost a quarter of your food gone for the rest of the whole day. So stop spending your money in Starbucks. Pretty much. But if you do, get a black coffee. Who buys a lot of Starbucks here? I know you're all doing it, to be fair. And what do you get? Do you get black coffee?
Flat white.
Latte.
Latte?
Henry
If
gets the
you're
one with
having
the cream
skim-
on the top.
I do.
Schema.
Strawberries and
fine.
cream. Strawberries and cream, yeah.
Yeah,
Stop
so
that.
I think I'm being healthy because I choose soya milk.
It's fine.
Just that's my. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I-
but
you have
all I would
to-
do is I'd chuck it in my fitness pal and be like, okay, that's 240 calories.
Which I don't do.
I find alcohol.
So
like
we're actually
weekends.
looking.
Alcohol?
During the week, I'll like be really, really healthy, and then on the weekend, just go out and
Gin.
gin.
Gin, similar and tonic, all that.
Yeah.
Stick to spirits, otherwise if you drink pints, you're looking at, well, 5 pints is over like 1,500 calories. It's all calories, it isn't, like, plus it bloats you, you don't want to be bloated on beer, do you? Who likes beer? Luke's laughing. And you had 2 beers last week, to be fair, Luke, I remember you saying this today.
Guinness
Yeah.
is alright though, yeah?
Guinness is alright.
Yeah, that's right.
Plenty of iron, plenty of iron.
Food and a drink in one, surely.
Yeah, it's balanced as well. So I would say if you like a Guinness, have a Guinness.
Hasn't Guinness got more calories than normal beer?
Yeah, it has got. So just be aware of it. If you like a Guinness, have one. But again, it's that, if you want to lose weight and think, oh, my calories are not in the right place, then average it out throughout the week. If you know you're going to have a big session on Saturday, eat less in the week. It's making it work in that way. So then you can still get results while going on a big session. People think, oh, I can't do that. But you can. A lot of my clients drink like fish, but they still get results just because we manage it in a way so it works. And they do drink beer as well. Not everyone likes to drink gin like me. But I can't handle my gin anyway. Health, performance and results. So all 3 are subjective and also obviously progressive as well. So I'd say to someone, like I said earlier, about the burger and chips on a Friday, and eventually that will become the chicken from Nando's or whatever. But it can still go in there as fine. But be patient, enjoy the process, and just fall in love with learning about nutrition and about what works for you. So my diet, again, like I say, is different to yours, but the more you learn about nutrition, the more you try different things, the more you understand what actually works best for you. Like you said about the Red Bull, I like sugar though, so I'm not going to say don't eat sugar. I'm going to say and understand that it's the calories making you lose weight and not the... Plus you're probably getting peaks and troughs in energy with Red Bull, and you'll eat foods that you wouldn't normally eat. And you're dehydrated as well, drinking Red Bull. So you probably feel heaps better from drinking loads of water. But that's something that he's learned from doing that, but understand it's from the calories point of view would be the best way to go.
So are you saying that if I wanted to eat chocolate every day,
You could.
I could,
Yep.
however I need to build that into an amount that I'm then,
Is chocolate your trigger food?
yeah, I have chocolate every day.
So you have it every day?
Yeah.
But
Only a
can you
small
stop
amount,
eating
but-
it? So if it's a small amount, brilliant. Yeah, it can fit. So let's say your calories per day are 1,600 and a bar's 200. It's not even like an eighth of your diet, it's fine. You can factor it, you can manage it in and still get results in your chocolate. And I'd say to you, over time, I'll try and make that chocolate bar like a healthier chocolate bar, like maybe a protein chocolate bar, or mixing chocolate whey with some oats, so still getting your chocolate fix, but it's a lot healthier way of doing it.
Okay.
Right, I think we're in Q&A, but no, we're not. Okay, so 4 keys that remain consistent with regards to the strategy. Micronutrients, I'm not saying obviously don't recommend eating healthy food all the time. I do recommend eating healthy food to get your vitamins and minerals in. So lots of fruit and vegetables is definitely essential, but be balanced with it. Another key is hydration. So a lot of people eat because they are thirsty and they're dehydrated. So just drink loads of water and it'll make you eat way loads less. So when you wake up in the morning, smash in a pint, because I guarantee you're not actually hungry for food. Like I won't eat today until probably about 12 o'clock, and I woke up at 4. Just drink water in the morning. I don't recommend everyone to do that. I'm different. Like I do intermittent fasting, but I'll save all my calories for later on in the day when I've got time to eat. Whereas I'm just stacked with meetings all morning. It doesn't make sense for me to eat. Therefore, I won't eat. And I used to think that's bad. I couldn't do that to get results, but my results are actually better now versus when I used to eat at 4 in the morning. I had to force feed it. I didn't want to eat at 4 in the morning, but I thought I had to. But we'll get to my diet, my previous diet in a second. Calories. Hover around maintenance for optimal health. So maintenance would be your TDEE. So whatever that is for you, you'll be able to work that out, or I can work that out for you. And that can change well based on your activity levels. But a 10 to 20% deficit for fat loss is what I'd recommend, and a 10 to 20% surplus for weight gain and muscle building.
Quick question. So the hydration one, so you say about 3 litres. Is that 3 litres if you're not hitting the gym?
It's subjective,
Right.
so it depends on how big you are, which muscle you have, how much you're sweating, your water turnover, everyone's different. But you'll know when you're dehydrated because your piss will be yellow. That's normally a good guide. If you're weeing yellow, go and smash in some water.
Right.
But the best way to stay hydrated is to drink it throughout the day, rather than just necking a pint and forgetting about it for 6 hours. Just drink gradually throughout the day. And yeah, protein intake, I spoke about this last time. 1 gram per pound of lean body weight is what I'd recommend as a minimum. If you're lifting, definitely get that in. If you're not, then obviously calories are the be-all and end-all. But eating protein, even if you don't lift, will be massively advantageous simply because you'll burn 20% of the calories you get from that protein just from digesting it.
And what are the best ways to
Protein's
get the
hard to
protein in?
digest.
Like, for instance, obviously you've got the meats and that side of things.
Yeah, you can get it from vegetables as well, but you're just gonna. But yeah, build yourself up to 1 gram per pound of body weight, ideally, and then your results will be spot on. If you're consistent with that and a 10% deficit of calories, then you're mega, and you'll get key results as well. And you'll feel really good as well.
What's the right way to find out what your calorie intake should be? Like based on
There's calculators online. They're not massively accurate, but they're a better point than not having anything at all. So you can all message me today. I'll leave you my email address and ask me, and I'll tell you what you should probably have. And I can look at someone and tell them what they should probably have.
Okay.
But that's just from experience. But you can go into a calculator online. There's one called ifitfitsyourmacros.com. So I think it's IIFYM.com. And then you put in a little bit of information about you based on how active you are, how many times a week you train. It will give you a number. It won't be exactly right for you, but there's no way of finding that out. But if you follow that number, watch your results, and then you understand where you're at. Like if you feel good and you're dropping a bit of body fat, then it's perfect, right? And if you're not, then drop calories a little bit, but only do it in small increments. But yeah, it's about finding what works for you, but it's that feedback.
So how do you work out your grams per lean body weight?
So let's say your body weight is 200 pounds, for example, and you are 10% body fat. So it'd be 180 grams.
Right, okay.
Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
you're going to have a guesstimate on what your body fat percentage is, because unless you go for a body pod or whatever, then you might be able to know that. And the machines that you stand on and hold them,
Yeah.
they're rubbish as well. They're not going to give you an accurate, but they'll give you a point that's better than what you know already. So whatever your body weight is, subtract the percentage, and that's your lean body weight.
So if I email you later, will you work it out?
No problem.
Yeah.
Cool. Get those 4 right daily, and your performance in every area will literally times by 10, and over time you'll look better than ever before if you're consistent with it, and you will be, because it isn't even a diet. Performance nutrition. So many people settle for feeling crap, tired, unhappy, like I spoke about earlier, and we aren't supposed to feel that way, and it's only because of the way we treat our bodies. So poor nutrition and poor stress management and poor sleep will make you feel that way, but we can take control of all of those 3. And as a result, we can take control of how we feel. It doesn't need to dictate your day, nor does it need to in any way. So meal time and frequency I get asked about a lot, like when's best to eat. Like I told you then, I don't really eat. I eat massively sporadically, but my total calories for the day and week are the only thing that I worry about, and as long as I feel good, then I'm all good. And that's what I want you to realise. Like research has shown that 2 meals versus 6 meals a day, there's no difference in results when calories and protein and energy balance is the same. So energy balance is your TDEE, so let's say you burn 2,500 calories a day. Energy balance would suggest that you need to eat less than that to lose weight. That's what that basically means.
What's the common theory that your body can only consume or turn into use a certain amount of protein per meal, like everything else is wasted, that kind of thing?
Again, not true. It's just that supplement companies trying to sell you products. So that in their scoop is 20 grams of protein, so they'll say, can you redo 30 grams? And they know you've got it at 180 for the day, they know I'm going to have to have a shake later. Whereas I don't really, I will have a shake once in the day, but never normally more than that. Sometimes I might have to. But I will try and limit my protein intake just from food if I can.
Jack, when do you weigh yourself, and how often would you weigh yourself?
I don't.
Never do. You just go for a look.
People get a bad relationship with scales. I used to do it every day. And then my day would be dictated by the number on the scale, so I was like, there's no way I'm doing that anymore. Or if I do, I'll jump on the scales maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks. But it's different for everyone. If it motivates you, then weigh yourself. So some clients will get to weigh themselves daily or 3 times a week. Again, the average is better rather than once a week. But for me, I don't like to weigh myself now. And women as well, they're in line there. So I say don't weigh it. But blokes are just as bad. I just don't weigh yourself. But if you're trying to get feedback with regards to the calories and if you're in a deficit, then maybe do it initially. So for the first month, maybe twice a week, and then you'll see body fats coming down. Use measurements and photos rather than the scales. Who weighs himself here? And how would you relate your relationship with the scales, good or bad?
Bad. Psychotic.
Actually, it's just, I wouldn't do it. Just measurements, how you look and how you feel will be what dictates it, and then just trust the process. Like, just stick to your calories, it will come off 100%. And you're doing it in a way that's sustainable, and you won't feel like, oh, I've had a bad day on Sunday, I'm going to weigh myself the next day. Why would you do that? You're going to put weight on it, and you're going to put yourself off for the whole week. Just don't weigh yourself. Every day is a new day. If you have a bad day, don't worry about it. But I'd still track if you had a bad day, just to make you realise, like, wow, I had 5,000 calories yesterday. I thought I had a good day. You understand more about food that way. Then next time you think, oh, maybe I'll go for the burger and chips. But yeah, meal frequency and time is subjective to you. So you guys obviously have all got office jobs, so it would be determined on how you feel really throughout the day. So if you like to eat every 3 hours because energy drops, then do that. If you feel like you can do 6 hours, then do that. So it's works best for you. Unfortunately, I can't tell you exactly what to do, but it's personalised, right? So that's what you need to understand, is that you need to go and work out what's best for you, which is why you can stick to it. Whereas I could say, right, follow this diet that I've got on the side now, you'll get really lean, but how long can you follow it for? It does stand then something like a date. So that's what I used to follow. I don't know if you can see that, but I used to have that for 12 weeks every day. So 5 a.m, I'd have 5 eggs and 20 grams of almonds. It was awful. And then 9 a.m, chicken, rice, greens. 12 chicken, rice, greens. Then I'd train about 2, and I'd have a jam bagel, 2 scoops of whey protein, a massive bowl of Cocoa Pops and almond milk, and then I'd eat again 3 hours later. I was not hungry at all. Steak, eggs, sweet potato greens, and I'll eat again before bed. Oats and peanut butter and some Greek yogurt and whey again.
Yeah, diet costs a lot as well.
Yeah.
How many calories was in that?
At that point I was eating, I think, 3,500 a day. Because it's still quite clean food. It's not that much.
5 eggs. Oh,
Oh, it was awful. Sometimes I had to do it at 4 in the morning as well.
how did you cook them?
I normally scrambled them, but it depended how I felt that day. But yeah, it wasn't nice. It took me about half an hour to eat them, but that way, every morning,
You did that for 12 weeks.
every day. This was about 3 years ago. I had an eating disorder after that. I binged for like 3 months. But I was given that diet by someone who was very good in the industry, or was deemed to be very good. And at the time I was into bodybuilding, that's what I was told to follow. I paid him £1,500 for that diet. So I was going to follow it.
If you give me 1,500, I'll write you a diet.
Biggest waste of money ever, but it taught me a lot. And then I realised that you can get the same results on that diet, so that's what I follow now. So I wake up most days about 4. I won't eat until about midday. At weekends I eat earlier because I'm not as busy, and I like to eat breakfast. But during the week it's not practical for me. So I'll have a smoothie around midday, and then meal 2, 3, 4 and 5 or whatever. I'll sometimes eat only 2 meals a day, but it'll be based on total calories and when it works for me and how I feel. And I eat out quite a lot as well, like most days. And I'll snack with what I want when I want as well. Which again isn't massively helpful, but I think the idea is to teach you that you don't have to be on either side. It's about what works for you. As long as calories and proteins met, you'll get great results.
On a weekend, do you still stick to your smoothie, or do you relax and have a piece of toast?
I'll have toast every day.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So it's what I want. I can eat anything. So I would.
But you're constantly watching, you're basically adding up the calories to the end of the day, and you know in that day pretty much what calories you've had. But that
Yeah.
could have been toast,
Yeah.
you know, whatever you want.
Yeah. Yeah, and plus where I've not eaten until midday, or I smoothie at midday, I won't eat my first meal till like 2 o'clock. So if you imagine I've got all my calories to fit in from there to there, so I can eat what I want. Whereas if I start eating at 4 a.m, I'm gonna have less calories later in the day, aren't I? So I'll just save them when I want to eat them. Plus, this works best for me. But I have to drink lots of water or I do get hungry.
Jack, you put at the bottom there, just manage calories and then plus protein and try and eat tons of fruit and veg. But surely,
Yeah.
with the food app I've got, it measures if I have a banana or an apple, that's all calories.
Yeah. So the carrots.
So it's not plus that then?
No.
Oh.
So just to get results, I'd go calories, protein, fruit and veg.
Right.
So I'd recommend eating loads, but still track it because there's calories in it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes more than you think as well. You'd be like, Jesus,
Yeah.
bit of pineapple, I could have rice or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, it's an opportunity to learn. That's why I'd say is just track and get an understanding on food, and then you'll be able to understand how better to do it for you in a way that's sustainable. But yeah, one time, one body, you need to look after yours. And that's me doing a pose where I was so scared I was going to fall off as well. I was like, get this picture quick. Q&A. Who got questions? We've got plenty of time, actually, 20 minutes.
So what about, like peaks in insulin levels?
Yeah.
So with sugar,
Yeah.
that's that. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
meant to be really bad for you? That's why you should sort of regulate having sugar at one time in the day.
It depends on you as a person as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you have a massive sugar stint, you are going to drop in sugar levels and you are going to feel shit.
Yeah. But in terms of the diet, it really affects it, doesn't it, for like the whole day? That's what I've been taught.
It'll affect how you feel,
Yeah.
which then affect your choices. But yeah, that you could have a bag of Tang plastics and it's going to make you feel that you're going to drop in insulin and you're going to feel rubbish. But if your calories for the day are still matched, it doesn't make a difference with regards to weight loss or how you. But yeah, how you feel, I wouldn't do that. Like I wouldn't eat a massive sugar meal unless I was about to go to bed, because then I'll crash and it'll be perfect. But in the day, if I'm not at an office or if I'm trying to get things done, I wouldn't eat a big meal. It just wouldn't work because you're going to feel sluggish afterwards. So I'd prefer to eat. I'd recommend you at light throughout the day. Light and probably quite frequently as well. But it depends on how much time you have available as well.
With like weight training, sorry, just in front of you there.
No, go for it.
With like weight training then, so like say I'm doing chest and then like I'm trying to stick to say 2,000 calories,
Yeah.
but then I just feel hungry all day long. Like would you up your calories because obviously you're going to burn a lot more than me?
I'd change your food choices.
Or like more, just more protein based, more carbs?
Just things that fill you up more. So I know I'm saying a lot about I'll eat whatever. I'll also eat things that are massively high in volume to fill me up. Like I'll share everything that I eat on Instagram stories. I don't know if you watch it or not, but like you'll see the meal and it'll be like, that's a massive plate of food. That must be a lot of calories. Absolutely not. Over time, you just learn that. So there's a book called, I think it's called Volumize Your Diet, and it just basically teaches you how to get more volume into a diet with less calories. So it's basically foods that are just super high in volume that fill you up but are low in calories. So that's how I'll eat throughout the day.
Do you eat before training weights, as an example? Like, if you know you're having like a big back day or something, would you go and...
Ideally, but if I'm training at 5 in the morning, then I won't. It depends on the day. I used to think, I can't lift unless I've eaten, but it doesn't matter. But it depends on how you perform better. If you perform better having eaten, then I'll definitely eat before.
I feel happier.
Yeah. But if you train first thing in the morning, it's going to make you sick if you eat like close to your workout, then I wouldn't.
I only ever train in the morning, so I always feel really sick. And, like, I can't eat in the mornings. I can't put anything in.
And I'll just train fasted.
Okay, cool.
You'll see better results from calories and protein being regulated over time, and then if you feel like, I'm smash that now for 3 months, then I'll eat before and see if that makes a difference. But generally, yeah, just be consistent with calories and protein, and your results will be way better than they would be from being sporadic.
With training,
yeah.
Obviously, like a lot of people say, do like, I mean, obviously I don't know, but what, legs and arms, and then you kind of rotate it, right?
Yeah.
If you only get into the gym once a week,
yeah,
should you do an all over?
100%.
Right.
Yeah. I'd recommend all over anyway versus a split. Probably.
You would?
Yeah. So I'd either get you on a full body split or an upper lower split if you were to go twice a week. Or if you're going 5 times a week, I'd only give you like a single split body part if it's something you'd enjoy. So some of my clients, I'll give them like a push-pull leg split because they like it. But really, I'd rather them do an upper lower because they can train things multiple times a week that way.
Right.
And get better results that way.
Okay.
When I was on that bodybuilder diet, I was on the chest one day, shoulders next, arms. My results are way better now.
Right.
And I get to eat differently. But yeah, definitely training multiple times a week is better than doing like chest once a week.
Yeah.
If you're only going once a week to train full body, definitely.
Great.
I'll probably should do a talk on training because I don't really touch on that much, but training is definitely something that you could all change massively. Everyone I get on board, I'll change their training completely. Because we're all taught to believe that you should do chest one day, arms. It's not true. And the research in that is actually really so much better when you train things multiple times per week.
Books.
Yeah.
Which are the best books?
Put me on the spot. So, The Slight Edge and The Compound Effect are both similar kind of books. They were done by Jim Rohn, was the mentor of the two guys who wrote those books. They're good. Do you mean more nutrition based?
Just what are the best books you've ever read? Like to do with personal development, that sort of things.
I'm on Grit at the moment, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
What, Hands of the Duckworth?
Let me get my order up. Think and Grow Rich is good. I'm using an app called Audible, so I listen to a lot of them as well. The One Thing, Magic of Thinking Big, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Unshakable by Tony Robbins, 4 Hour Work Week, Disrupt Yourself by Jay Summit, anything Gary Vaynerchuk, definitely.
What's that one again?
What, the Gary Vaynerchuk one? So he's got 3. One's called Crush It. His newest book's called Crushing It. He's awesome.
That one's a good one, is it? Which is the best book of his you've read?
His new one I'm only halfway through, but it'll probably be the best one because it's most recent content. So Crushing It, I'll go for.
Crushing It.
Yeah, his podcast is awesome as well.
What's he about?
He's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Based in America. Took a wine business off his dad from nothing into a £60 million business, and now he's done his own sports brand and VaynerMedia it's called. He's like a motivational entrepreneur. Anyone watching him? I share him a lot in my client group and people he's cool.
Okay.
He's really motivational. But diet-wise, the Lean Muscle Diet's a good book by a guy called, I think it's Alan Aragon wrote that. And the Volumizing Your Diet one's really good as well. But I can send a list of books that you could all follow, and then you can probably send out an email, can't you?
You say about sleep being part of kind of like your like healthy food?
So sleep's so important. I'm rubbish with sleep, but yeah.
I was going to say, because you then say you get up at 4 a.m. which
Yeah,
is, like,
so I look really
night.
tired as well. I'm haggard on. I'm 26. I'm only 26.
Do you sleep
Sleep's
well?
important.
No.
I feel good because of how I eat. If I didn't eat well, I'd be in a coma. I don't sleep now anyway. I get like 4.5 hours. I'm lucky. But yeah, I'd say definitely try and get 7 hours if you can. Sleep's super important. I need to read a book on sleep actually, and I might change my mindset on that. But yeah, I'll normally go to bed at 11 o'clock, and I wake up at 4. But the weekends I'll try and catch up on sleep a bit. But yeah, I wouldn't copy me with the sleep stuff. I'll probably burn myself into the ground, but I'm going to work on that. So yeah, try and get like 7 hours a night. But again, average it throughout the week. So let's say your goal would be 49 hours a week based on 7 times 7. If you have a night where you get 4, then have a good night the weekend away to catch up. Then you'll be fine. Any other questions?
So I think I'm somewhere between the 10% and the crash, which I think is why I've plateaued, because I'm eating more now, and definitely a healthier range of foods, but more calories than I was.
Yeah.
But obviously I've now got a lot of weight to lose in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So should I, or would you recommend keeping a much lower calorie? Because I still don't think I'm eating enough, but I'm eating so much more.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be able to.
Are you
eat
tracking
more.
calories?
Yeah.
And how much? Are you in a deficit?
Yeah.
That's about 15%.
Probably more.
See, the thing is, you need to be careful because you're about to go in the ring and try and smash someone up. And if you're on low calories, you're not going to last.
Yeah.
You'll just run out of the energy.
Yeah.
So just be patient. But you might. It's difficult. I'd drop it a little bit if you're stalled,
Yeah.
or do things in like a yeah. I would probably say change your food choices a little bit and drop calories slightly, but you still got that energy levels because you're eating differently, eating more volume. Do you feel hungry?
Not really. I've never been a big eater. I've always had problems with food. So trying to get 2,000 calories into me regardless was hard,
Yeah.
unless I was eating a bag of Haribo. But so now training probably about 1,000, 2,000 calories a day anyway. I know I need to be eating more.
Yeah.
So it would be like more like sweet potatoes, stuff like
Maybe
that.
drop it a little bit. Maybe add in swap rice for cauliflower rice. So you've still got rice, but you're saving calories.
I don't eat rice, I don't eat pasta, I don't eat bread. Even when I'm not in fight camp, I don't eat anything like that.
You don't like it, or?
Not really, no. If I have carbs as such, it's sweet potato, the occasional jacket potato, that's about it.
Okay. Just out of enjoyment, or just you don't?
Yeah, just that's, if I, that's what I'd like to eat. But I can't tell you the last time I had pasta or rice or anything like that.
So do you know how many grams of carbs you have in a day?
Find out.
Yeah, find out, let me know. Yeah, email me and I'll tell you what to go for.
Yeah.
But I'd probably say you could probably do it having more because you're about to go smash someone up, so more carbs is better.
Not get smashed myself.
Yeah, but if you over diet, then you might get smashed.
Yeah.
So just be careful with it.
Very, very sad.
Any other questions?
Go-to snacks.
I was just about to say, what are some like go-to quick snacks that are not too bad, especially because we're in an office? Like, what could we bring in?
Greek yogurt mixed with whey protein is a good one, just to get loads of protein in. Anything with yogurt's good. Bars, like protein bars, they're not the best with regards to health, but they're easy. Do you mean things you can pick up from like the co-op downstairs? Or do you
Yeah, that will bring in just like what are good easy snacks. That,
fruit?
can you have too much fruit?
You can have too many calories. Not too much fruit.
I've discovered
Well,
chia
you're all right, that's
chia
okay.
seeds. I know the chia seeds.
Yeah, brilliant.
If you mix those with a bit of juice, they sort of swell up. It's really, really nice with honey in it.
There you go.
That's
Do you want to come to the front and do
No,
it?
no, only because I Google go-to snacks.
Yeah, there's loads of things you can have, but
And they're tiny things.
what do you like?
It's a nice snack.
What do you like?
I'm number 4. I just starve myself, or try to.
Everyone does.
Yeah, and then I'm just
Everyone
hungry all
does.
the
You're
time.
not the only one.
And then
Everyone
I
does. But
worry about what snacks to have because I think, oh, if I eat that, then that's really bad. But I do eat chocolate every day, so then I'm totally contradicting what I say, but I do only have a small amount.
Okay.
But yeah, things maybe like yogurt, yeah, I don't really have enough snacks, so I'm hungry.
But you could have Greek yogurt, mix it with some chocolate whey protein, and mix it, that's a chocolate mousse, that's your chocolate fix. And you're probably getting about 40 grams of protein there as well. So that'd be almost like half of your daily intake that you need in a snack. And it's quick and easy as well.
And those protein, like the whey protein stuff,
Yeah.
and that side of things, I think I may have spoken to you last week on it, but is there like, that's not an ideal way to get protein in this?
It's just convenience.
Because it's got like chemicals and shit like that.
Not a lot. If you buy good stuff, it hasn't.
Right, what is good stuff?
It's difficult to say because I'm not there watching them produce it.
Right.
But the companies have been done for spiking their supplements. So ideally, I'd eat food. I wouldn't go down the supplement route. It's only for practicality that I'd say you should have them. And
Right.
But yeah, if you were to have 40 grams of protein from whey versus 40 grams of protein from chicken, the results would be very difficult for you to see in difference.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's a good way. If it's a bad one, then you don't know if you've been done or not. But yeah, the more you pay, normally the better you get.
Mm-hmm. So expensive equals good?
Not always.
Ah.
Not always, but most of the time, yeah. So I'll use Time 4, which is Paul's local brand, which is pretty good, tastes nice. And I'll use Herbalife.
Mm-hmm.
And them two have been my favourites so far. I've used My Protein before, didn't like it. Again, they've been done for spiking. Optimal Nutrition is pretty good. Reflex is pretty good. I've been to their factory, seen them make it. They're all pretty good, but you never know what one worker might put in a product, so you never know what you're getting. Whereas a chicken breast is normally a chicken breast.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say to people, if you can eat. I only have shakes for convenience. It takes me 10 seconds just to shake something up and I drink it.
Right.
Whereas a meal can take 30 minutes to prep.
Like steroids and stuff, not like I don't want to take them, but I just see a lot of people like fitness,
Get massive.
like fitness inspiration people that talk about how common it is in people's
So
results
common.
and
Yeah,
stuff
no
like that. I
idea.
just wondered if it is something that like goes on quite a lot. Or
Absolutely. So that diet then, I was using steroids then. My results are better now without.
Without.
100%.
Do you reckon I should cut the steroids out?
Definitely.
Right.
In the industry, everyone who you look at who's in half decent nick is normally on something. But you don't need to. Like I would
just
never.
takes longer
I would
to
never
get
do
to
it
that
again.
result.
Yeah, like I was just kind of led to believe that I had to do it to get to the top of my industry. But yeah, like most people are on it, but diet will always outdo gear. So if your diet's good, you don't need to take anything. The problem is that these lads are doing it and they're not eating well. And the ones who eat really well, combine a bit, then they're going to get good results. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Like I did it when I was like 22 and I was naive and I was stupid.
I think some people just promote that that's kind of like the only way you can get to that level without.
As an elite level
Diet.
bodybuilder, you have to do it. But I don't want to be an elite level bodybuilder, and I still like the way I look without it. And it's a more natural look as well that people kind of like, whereas when you've got like 3D shoulders and you just look like completely stacked, not everyone likes that. So it's more about like a look that more people appeal to, but I feel better this way as well. Yeah, you don't want to put hormones in your body, but you don't need to. But it will give you an extra 10% if your diet is really good. Because it's just a hormone. But I wouldn't recommend it.
So we don't want to see you all muscly.
No, I just think some like fitness girls, like
Can
I
be
saw a
huge.
guy did a blog about. It was just saying that basically all these girls and like athletes that people look up to is unachievable because they're on something extra. That's just why I was questioning if it's that common and.
It's massively common. So that coach that I hired, he said, "Are you willing to do whatever it takes?" And I was just like, "I want to win because I was doing a competition." And he said, "Use this alongside the diet." And I was like, "What the hell's all that?"
Did you
And
have to
then
inject yourself?
it was awful. Yeah,
Oh dear.
I couldn't do it, so I had to get someone to do it for me. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend that to anyone. You don't need to. So I look better now all year round versus looking good for just like one day to turn up on stage and I feel better. Like I wouldn't recommend it ever. But yeah, and the people who look that good, they're never normally that happy either. So they'll look nuts on Instagram for a picture that they take. They'll take loads of pictures on 1 week where they look lean, and they recycle them all year round. They don't look that way year round. It's not a sustainable look. So yeah.
messes up everything, doesn't it? Like all your hormones and
Absolutely.
fucks up.
Yeah.
On a positive note, like, would there be any kind of nutrients and vitamins and stuff that you recommend taking more of, or like having?
We're all deficient in this country in vitamin D. So vitamin D, magnesium. I'd recommend if you're someone who likes having baths, then just chuck some magnesium salts in the bath. Vitamin D, definitely magnesium. A good multivitamin probably, because no matter how many fruit and vegetables you eat, the food now is just being pumped with stuff just to make it last longer on the shelf. So within 10 years everyone will need a proper multivitamin anyway, because the food's getting worse and worse.
Is that off the whole seven a day as opposed to 5 a day kind of thing?
Yeah, that's why it's changed, yeah, because the food's getting worse. Like if you grow it yourself, you'll taste the difference. But now it's just pumped with shit just to make it last longer on the shelves. So be careful with that.
But if you buy organic, it's probably better, right?
Better a little bit, not massively.
Right.
It is better, yeah. But not with regards to the price increase, it's not worth it.
Okay.
But yeah, it would say organic, but the way it's farmed isn't normally that much better either.
Right.
It's just a guy who says, oh yeah, I'm organic.
Right. That's all you need to be organic.
Yeah.
Just say, yeah, I'm organic.
He's like,
mate.
organic.
Yeah.
And then he gets a sticker.
Yeah.
And gets paid more money, yeah. But no, it's not massively different. But they've done research on organic versus vegetables like that aren't, and the results were no different. They couldn't see any difference in results.
Right.
Which was obviously bad for the organic. Well, but they paid a lot of money for that not to get published.
Right.
Because they make more money.
Right.
It's all about making money.
Okay.
Unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on how you want to see it.
Okay. Got it.
Any other questions?
Just in regards to what you're saying about protein, I've always learned that your body can only process a certain amount of
I used to think that.
per hours, maybe like 2 hours. Is that true?
No.
No.
It's again that supplement companies that put on products to make you think that, so you buy them products. They used to think that was the way. They used to also think like in magazines you have to do chest on Monday and back on Tuesday for it to be the best thing, but no, it's not true.
Good man. Thank you very much. Cheers.